Namaste, fellow yogis. Welcome to Choturveda. Before we move on to the subject, I would like to convey a sincere thanks to all of you for making last video a success. Now back to today's subject. When I started my personal journey of yoga, there were a lots of video content and books I came across. Most of them were discussing about certain poses, but I was less curious and more skeptical about yoga. Hence, I decided to do a thorough research on history, philosophy, and science behind yoga. Instead of relying on current sources, I started exploring books of yogic gurus of 18th and 19th century and tracked back yogic lineage to get authentic information. For next few sessions, I will try to summarize the research with this detailed info. We will be confident about our upcoming journey. I will not be only teaching on how to do a certain yoga poses but explaining the different aspects of it also. This will make sure our obvious questions, why am I doing it or is it authentic, are answered properly. Let's breathe the knowledge in. In today's scientific era, man has achieved success in many fields. Internet has brought the world communities together within hours. We can travel across the world. Man has already stepped on the moon and even wishes to land on other planets well. With the advancements in the medical field, organ transplantation is now a reality. Though man has been able to design and develop time and labor saving machines that provide physical comfort, yet he is not happy. Today's new generation is leading a fast paced life that was never heard before, which on one hand is providing them with financial independence and technological advancements. But on the other hand, they are leading a very stressful life with a strained relationship. They can hardly enjoy the fruits of their labors as they are highly stressed out. Stress has given rise to tomorrow diseases like insomnia, lack of sleep, diabetes, high blood pressure, irritation, and many such problems as if these diseases are curse on our generation. We and our society are responsible for this state of affairs. Faulty lifestyle, wrong food habits, environmental imbalances caused by humans, undue emphasis on competitiveness and carnal pleasures, social, financial, and psychological insecurities, low nutritional of food, and many such factors are affecting individuals as well as societal well being. Even the tremendous scientific developments in the modern era are unable to address the problems concerning our health and well being. Yoga, one of the great traditional systems of ancient India, is a perfect remedy for all the physical, mental, emotional maladies that our modern man is suffering from. In fact, yoga is the only ray of hope that can bring holistic wellness to the human beings. Therefore, the study of Yoga Shastra is the need of the time. Yoga is not merely a physical exercise or a treatment or technique, but is a way of life in which the body, mind, intellect, and the soul are aligned and integrated with the collective consciousness. Thus, yoga is a way of life. It is based on the philosophy of unity and oneness, just as a limb separated from the body or branch separated from a tree cannot survive. Similarly, a person disconnected with others' natures or soul, emotionally or otherwise, cannot remain happy for long nor can he progress in life. Yoga sadhana is not just physical postures, asanas, regulated breathing, pranayam, or an effort to achieve concentrations. It is also not just a 1 hour of practice in the morning, but a 24-hour integration with that unitary self that has manifested itself into myriad bodies and forms of the visible world. Significance of yoga. The greatest contribution of India to the world community is its gift of yoga. Today's disintegrated and stressful living is necessary every individual to choose yogic way of life. In fact, in yoga, the body, mind, and the intellect are united with the indwelling soul. This union further extends into integration of an individual with the family, family with the society, and society with the nation, and nation with the whole universe. Even though the need for such an integration might not be felt by an individual at every level, nevertheless, every individual experiences a compelling desire to look inward, calm and free and mind from unending flow of thoughts and remain settled in the self at one time or the other. This natural urge of human beings is a reason for the spread of yoga far and wide. Of late, in many European countries and in America, it has been made compulsory to establish yoga departments in hospitals and clinics. Nowadays, the 21st of June is observed as the International Yoga Day. In the backdrop of this growing popularity of yoga, we must try to understand what exactly is a yoga all about. Yoga is a universal. Yoga is the great legacy of ancient India, which every individual must incorporate as his/her lifestyle. The need of the hour is to acquire exhaustive knowledge of this great wealth called yoga. Let's see the nature of yoga. The word yoga is derived from Sanskrit root yuj. Yuj means to join, unite, or integrate with the oneness. Yoga is the experience of that eternal happiness which one gets after overcoming all the duality and uniting with the absolute truth. It is an instrument that frees us from suffering, diseases, and mental activity. It enables us to maintain equanimity, stableness of mind, and remain peaceful and composed even while being part of worldly sufferings. Yoga is an art of realizing the self and ultimate truth. Sage Patanjali defined yoga as Chittavritti Nirodha, that is, arresting of mental activity. References to Yoga Shastra can be found in the Vedas and Upanishads. Typically, the Vedas consist of three parts: Samhita, Mantra, portion which is the core of the Vedas, the Brahmana part of the procedural aspects, and the Arankyas in which Upanishads form a part. Though not much is written in the Samhita part of the Vedas about yoga, a lot can however be found in the Upanishads. For example, the Kathopanishad describes the nature of yoga and its methods of practice. A good deal of information on yoga is also found spread in other Upanishads. The Bhagavad Gita, which is considered as the essence of the Vedas and the Upanishads, contains 18th chapter and each chapter is named after yoga. It begins with Vishad Yoga in chapter 1 and concludes with Moksha Sannyas Yoga, yoga of renunciations for liberation. In the last chapter in Gita, the 6th chapter is completely dedicated to Yoga Shastra and its practice. Yoga means Chitta Vritti Nirodha, that is, arresting the fretting mind and its activities. Bhagavad Gita tells us that this control can be attained in a number of ways. Through various techniques, tools, and means. It describes a variety of techniques such as Dhyana Yoga, Karma Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga, etc. to attain the ultimate objective of human life, the liberation of soul, moksha. One can choose the path he/she likes. We find references to asanas or specific body postures at the end of Narad Purans. Some treatises like Vishnu Puran, Garud Puran, and Markandeya Puran also make allusions to yoga. Indian philosophy is also known as Darshan Shastra, contains 6 Vedic darshans. One of them is Yoga Shastra. Maharshi Patanjali, who is believed to have lived around 2500 Common Era, successfully elevated the stature of Yoga Shastra to the level of Darshan Shastra by systematizing it. But yoga has been described in the Vedas, the Upanishads, and the Purans long before Sage Patanjali systemized it. There raises the question as to who was the first propounder of yoga. Is Adiyogi, Lord Shiva. According to the Yajnavalmika Rishi, yoga first emanated from the teachings of Hiranyagarbha, Sage Patanjali only systematized and documented Yoga Shastra as taught by Hiranyagarbha. Therefore, Patanjali gave due to credit to the pioneers of Yoga Shastra by beginning his treatise with the words. Next, we will see the scope of yoga. Nowadays, many are attracted towards yoga. In fact, in many Western countries, learning yoga has become a fad. Nowadays, even in India, everyone is slowly turning to yoga. 21st June is being celebrated as the International Yoga Day, and therefore it is imperative for us to know the scope of yoga and understand what precisely yoga is all about. Number second, yoga and art. Yoga and art. Life is an art of living. Yoga raises the standard of living. Therefore, study of yoga is also an art. Its practice leads to towering thoughts of the practitioner and helps the person to wade through the difficult times of life bravely. Therefore, Sri Krishna calls it Yoga Karmasu Kaushalyam, or an art of living. It helps the conservation and promotion of qualities like objectively, friendship, devotion, happiness, satisfaction, concentration, and non accumulation of what is not needed, and results in the formation of virtuous and ideal human being. We will see the different perspective of yoga. First one is a yoga as a science. Just as another fields of science, there is the importance of observation and experimentation in yoga too. Yoga has a great scope for research. Yoga is the science of body and mind in which one gains control on mind by restraining the body. Practice of yoga results in a healthy and happy life by achieving balance between the body and the mind. The path to self-realization gets well laid. This balance in life is achieved through yoga by skillful and systematic practice. Next one, we will see yoga as philosophy. Ordinarily, man is very emotional in nature. He is often troubled and tormented by the duality of sadness and happiness, insult, praises, and failure, success, affecting his mind and body. But a practitioner's mind is unaffected by such tumults of life. This is because he acquires the teaching of being unfazed by such emotional drama in life and maintains equanimity in all situations. Yoga is a philosophy that elevates a person in a search of the ultimate truth from the mundane sensual world to the spiritual sphere in a systematic way, such as the universality of applications of yoga. Let us now see some definitions of yoga. First is a Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga means arresting of all mental activities. Such is the definition given in the second aphorism Sutra of Samadhi Pada, the first chapter in Patanjali Yoga Darshana. Second definition is a Swaswarupe Samasannata. The definition of yoga is the given in Vedanta. Number third definition is Yujyate Anena iti yoga. Yoga is a process of joining, uniting. It is the union of individual consciousness with the universal consciousness. It is a realization of non-duality of all existence. Number fourth is Manah Prashmanopaya. Yoga Ityavidyate. Yoga is the technique of calming the mind. Number fifth is Samatva Yoga Uchyate. Bhagavad Gita 2.48. Yoga is a equanimity. Number 6 is a Yoga Karmasu Kaushalyam. Bhagavad Gita 2.50. Yoga is the skillfulness in actions. Yoga means the ability to act effectively. Thus, a variety of definitions of yoga are given by different sages, the Vedas and Gita. Today, there can be seen many current and trends in yoga, but the most ancient and the most widely accepted one is the Patanjali's Yoga Darshan. As we come to the end of the yoga history journey, I want to express my deepest gratitude for joining me today. I hope this exploration into the origins, evolutions, perspectives, and yoga is an art and benefits of yoga, significance of yoga has been enlightening and inspiring for you. Remember, yoga is not just a practice on the mat, but a way of life that can bring balance, peace, and well-being to every aspect of our existence. It encourages you to continue delving deeper into the vast ocean of knowledge and wisdom that yoga has to offer, whether you are a beginner or a seasoned practitioner. There is always something new to discover and explore on this beautiful path. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it thumbs up. Share it with others who may benefit from it, and subscribe to our channel for more informative and transformative content. Together, let's spread the joy and benefits of yoga to people all around the world. Thank you once again, my viewers, subscribers. Thank you once again for your time and presence. May your yoga journey be filled with growth, self discovery, and abundant blessing. Namaste. Thank you and bye bye, yogis. Om Namah Shivaya.